Ladies and gentlemen, live from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977 is Wednesday or Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for AEW Dynamite or Collision Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you the happenings of AEW All Elite Wrestling action, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans in 1977, episode number 2090. We're 10 episodes away from 2,100 episodes. And ladies and gentlemen, we're 8 days left of winter, ladies and gentlemen, the winter season. And it's kind of showing that winter is fading away, because the fact of the matter is, the past couple of days, we had 60-degree weather, and winter is fading very slowly, though, because we're supposed to get a little bit of rain and snow, but won't amount much. But it won't matter to me anyways, either way, because the fact of the matter is this. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm working inside, no more outside work, except for having to do the trash entrances. That's very, very important. So, and the entrance trash, that's about it. The trash entrances. I'm not trash the entrances. No, it's entrance trash. It's the only outside thing you need to do. But I just dart back in and go to the next one. It's like, remember the House of Horrors at Rocky Point Park? For those of you, my local friends probably know. When you go into the haunted Rocky Point, the House of Horrors ride, and then when you get to the second floor, there's a couple of areas where you go out and then you go back in. And then the second one, you go out, you go back in. And then you end up showing out there. I wish somebody would have like a video camera from back in the day how the House of Horrors was from Rocky Point, man. I have to admit, when I first went in there, I was scared. I didn't want to go in there again. You know, nowadays, if it was still up, if Rocky Point was still open and it was still up, and the House of Horrors was still up, I would go in there, get a couple of friends and just prank on them like I'm the Undertaker. Just Eric, shut up! How you know it was me? Anyway. Welcome to the House of Horrors. I am the Undertaker. Eric, shut up. Why? How'd you know it was me? You're the only one here talking. Oh, sorry. I would have chuckled a little bit. Are you trying to scare us? Exactly. And Eric's talking like he's the Undertaker again. That'll be hilarious to have. But let's get... speaking of wrestling, as you know, WWE, the landscape has changed with new champions and such. We have two new champions in the women's division. We got, on Raw, you got Io Sky being the new women's world champ. And then now on NXT last night, you get Stephanie Vaquer being the new NXT women's champion. The fun part about this is we're talking to AEW women's division now. Things are going to be changing, as you know. I will talk a little bit about that because Thailand's Toni Storm is still your AEW Women's World Champion. So let's talk about what happened at AEW Dynamite. Is the fallout from Revolution 2025 pay-per-view. Kenny Omega kicks off Dynamite to address the crowd. And Dynamite took place in Fresno, California, and he was talking about the becoming the singles champion once again, but here's the kick, and here's the kicking chicken. Here's the kicker chicken on this one. It is an international eliminator tournament to crown a new number one contender for Kenny Omega's international championship. Omega is now the first ever AEW Grand Slam champion, holding all the four original AEW titles. He held the world title, he held the tag team, the trios, and now he's got the international title. So I thought that was really cool. So congratulations to Kenny Omega becoming the first ever AEW Grand Slam champion. And so he's looking forward to see who he's going to face. Because the winners of these four matches, there's eight wrestlers in total, 7 are known, 1's a wild card. We don't know who the wild card is yet. We'll explain in that one. And whoever wins these matches will advance in a fatal 4-way match to determine, and whoever wins that match will face Kenny Omega at Dynasty. And that's a big, big deal at AEW Dynasty. So let's So see what. So he addressed all of those. He said best of luck. The Ops came out, and as you know, Katsuyori Shibata will be one of the 8 wrestlers in the tournament. He will be he'll be facing Ricochet in that first in that qualifier tournament, in that eliminator tournament at Collision this coming Saturday. So the Ops will beat Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata to take on the team of Vinny Pacifico, Eli Thesis, and Gabriel Eros. And ladies and gentlemen, you all know who won that matchup. The Ops. Come on. I like the Ops. And there's a heck of a team they formed, too. So it's the Ops. And I'm telling you what, they're also sending a message. If Shibata does not win in advance of the tournament, they're probably going to target the Death Riders for those trios tag team titles. And the Death Riders are in a vulnerable state right now thanks to Cope. So I think the Ops should strike while the iron's hot on that one. Meanwhile, Ricochet does address the Dynasty Eliminator Tournament and addresses Katsuyori Shibata, who he'll be facing on Collision. And he's heck bent on winning his first championship in AEW. You know, Ricochet's a former United States and Intercontinental Champion in the WWE. So he's got that going for him as well. Swerve Strickland did address what happened and when he will fight for the AEW World title. He will challenge Jon Moxley at Dynasty. But it'll be for whoever, because Cope says he's got Moxley next week in a street fight for the title. And if he wins, well, it'll be Swerve versus Cope. If Moxley retains, it'll be Swerve versus Moxley. But later on, there's another player that will throw his name in the hat in the ring for this one, figuratively. And then Jon Moxley responds to what Cope has said and what happened at Revolution, and he's determined to beat Cope, and he's challenged Cope and he says he's got a street fight against Cope for the AEW World title. So, and I'm sure there's no disqualification. The Death Riders got to make their return and make an impact somehow. Meanwhile, tag team action. Brian Cage and Dralistico, 2 different factions. Cage of the Don Callis family and Dralistico of the LFI, Los Facción Ingobernables, with Beast Mordos in his corner. Will go up against Powerhouse Hobbs and Hologram, who is accompanied by the lovely Harley Graham. We all know who she is under the mask, but you know what? Harley Graham must be a big fan of the Luchadors. But the Beast Mortals gets involved, but Harley Graham distracts him with a little hip swivel. Woman can move, and a woman's got talent. We all know that's Harley Cameron, but you know what? We don't care. We love her. Would it be Harley Graham or Harley Cameron? It doesn't matter. Harley Cameron is a funny and talented young lady. The future is bright for her. And yes, I like her too. So shut up out there. Mark Davis and Lance Archer confronts Hobbs after the matchup. So who's Hobbs going to back him up? Alicia Toot interviews the Hurt Syndicate, and he says, guys, take the day off. And it seems like Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley want to keep going, but MVP says, relax, take the day off. Take the rest of the night off. And then Shelton Benjamin goes, fine, but we're getting back into the grind after this. Then, Timeless Tony Storm, still your AEW Women's World Champion, 4-time champion, and one of the stars of Queen of the Ring. See the movie. I implore you to see that movie before the week is up, because I think that it's going to be gone after Friday. Go see it. Go see it. Go see it. If you're a wrestling fan, you like women's wrestling, and you want other people to see it, this is the movie to see. So, and she was talking about her match against Mariah May, and then she just, this woman's got away with words. Let me tell you, I love Timeless Tony Storm, and she goes, if and if you want to, she's basically challenged anybody. Throw your keys in the bowl and let's get this orgy. You want a women's battle royal, maybe? That I've interpreted it as a battle royal, but I know what an orgy is. But I know it's like a euphemism, so to speak. almost. But, a figure of speech in this case, she probably meant a battle royal. Come one, come all. Let's go after her. But who would step up to the plate? Well, none other than the mighty Megasis herself, Megan Bayne, blindsides, knocks out Toni Storm for a loop. Hope Toni Storm's okay, but knowing Toni Storm, there's a receipt coming towards Megan Bayne's way. And believe me, if Toni Storm, knowing her, she is not afraid of anybody. And if she's crazy to speak all these crazy words, she's crazy enough to go after Megan Bayne. But I'm sure she's going to work that old noodle of hers, the timeless one, knows when to attack. So hopefully she's okay. I'm surprised Luther did not come out there with her to stop that. Meanwhile, another Dynasty Eliminator matchup. It is the Beast Mortals versus a wild card team. Now, too bad Harley Graham did not come back out to distract Beast Mortals, but she probably didn't need to come out to cause Beast Mortals the matchup. Dralistico got on his case about it. The deal here is this. The wild card, whoever it is, but making his AEW Dynamite debut, Speedball Mike Bailey, a former TNA X Division champion, and he gave Beast Mortals all he got and all he can handle, and Speedball Mike Bailey is the first one to advance in the Dynamite Eliminator Tournament. The Dynasty International Eliminator Tournament, the first one to advance to be one of 4 men to fight for in a fatal 4-way for that number 1 spot, contender spot for the international title. Meanwhile, Renee Paquette interviews Christian Cage, but he does not want to talk to Renee Paquette. He's whining about he wants his contract back, and it's supposed to be a triple threat. He did not know. It doesn't be a one-on-one matchup. Christian Cage, you idiot. You should have waited till after the match was over. That was your big mistake. But then finally, Nick Wayne spoke up. Spoke up to him and said, "Hey, you stop making excuses. You got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. What is your plan? I don't know. What your plan?" And then Christian Cage got in his face. They're both, and then Christian Cage shoved Nick Wayne. Shayna Wayne stood up for her son. I think Nick Wayne's about had enough. And a lot of tension in the patriarchy right now. And Kip Sabian's walks away. So, and Shayna Wayne just stood with her son. And I think he's been feeling rather frustrated, I think, at this point. So, we'll see what happens there. And, so Lexi Nair tries interviewing MJF. MJF got mad after the matchup against Hangman and Page this past Sunday, kicks her out. But he comes out, addresses the Fresno crowd, and he says that this thing between you and me, Paige, isn't over by a long shot. But then MVP came out and said, remember your 18-year-old kid and all that? 18-year-old kid. And when MVP was dressed, there was a picture of MJF dressed with almost the same suit as MJF and had a Burberry scarf like MJF. That was back in the day. Same thing with MJF. So you got that to deal with. And then, MJF says, no, I don't need your help and all that. But he says, you might want to change your mind. When he handed him the card first time around, MJF says he wasn't interested. But then he said, hence the card. So he took the card, and it's not every day you get an opportunity like this. MJF may take it. I'm not sure. MJF will stoop to any level, but does Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin trust MJF? That's a very good question. Only MVP knows MJF better, since he was 18. So seeing MJF involved, and MVP knows that MJF may need some help. So more on that story. And Max Caster comes out and addresses the Fresno crowd, keeps running his mouth, of course. I mean, could have, he's probably happy that John Cena turned heel. Who knows? Anyways. And then Konosuke Takeshita, he issued open challenge. Here comes Konosuke Takeshita, who's obviously not in a very good mood after losing the international title to Kenny Omega. And Max Caster keeps running his mouth, and then all of a sudden, bell rang, Takeshita beats him. Max Caster, you're 0 for 3, dude. Quit running your mouth. Go find somebody to attack somebody from behind. Do something. You want to challenge somebody, instead of running your mouth and you getting beat up somebody. Dude, I beg you, stop bragging about being the greatest wrestler alive, because you're going to get your butt kicked every single time. Sheesh. No wonder, Anthony Bowens hadn't made the smarts to walk away from you. Chris Jericho addresses his actions against Gravity and Bandito. Keep it up, Jericho. Keep running that mouth of yours. When Bandito gets you in that ring, he'll beat you up and take that Ring of Honor title off your waist. Dummy. And then Will Nightingale went one-on-one against Penelope Ford. Will Nightingale won the matchup, but then Ford attacked Nightingale with a chair after the matchup. Chris Statler fights off Penelope Ford, and then when she goes helping out Will Nightingale just shoves it up. And then Chris Statler goes, whoa, it's just me, right? And then all of a sudden, here comes Megan Bayne once again, because she's associated with herself with Penelope Ford. Double clothesline both ladies. Sheesh. Megan Bayne she may be big, she may be strong, but is she out of her mind? Now she's going to get 3 women after her. You got Will Nightingale, Chris Statlander, now Timeless Tony Storm. What is up with you, Megan Bayne? And she wants to prove herself, and possibly will do that. Renee Paquette interviewed Mercedes Moné, and they invited Billy Starks on. And Billy Starks is thinking about challenging Mercedes Moné for the TBS title, because she's taking a few notes. I think Billy Starks is trying to get under the skin of Mercedes Moné, and Mercedes Moné right back at Billy Starks. So there's that. And then Tony Schiavone interviewed Will Ospreay. Ospreay is hilarious. I got in trouble with the missus and all that. I'm glad you're okay. But then she goes, well, and then he goes, Cope's got his match next week. Swerve's going to Dynasty. He got his shot. Where can I call my shot? And then he looked up to sign up All In. And in order to get that shot at All In, he's got to win the Owen Hart tournament, so he decided to enter himself into it. So I'm glad that Will Ospreay's doing the right thing. But then, going about it the right way, and then Renee Paquette interviewed Jay White, and Jay White says, I'll shoot my shot up against, Will Ospreay, or, Swerve Strickland, or Adam Copeland, or even Jon Moxley. He says he's going to watch Jon Moxley's back. And did I accidentally hit Cope by accident? No, not about Jon Moxley. Adam Copeland's back. Cope. Did he hit Jon Moxley? I mean, man, so many players in this situation, in the world title here. He says he'll have Cope's back until he defeats Jon Moxley for the AEW World title next week in a street fight. We'll see what happens in that situation. And then Renee Paquette at the commercial break interviewed Hangman Adam Page. MJF interrupts Page, but Page does talk to him calmly. He goes, "You try to burn me in. Better mean what you say." And I think he's challenging MJF. We'll see what happens. And the main event, the Dynasty Eliminator match number 2, Orange Cassidy versus Hechicero. And Orange Cassidy ended up winning the match. There was one that he took down, like a head scissors takedown, without using his hands. He had his hands in his pocket, let a leg takedown. Orange Cassidy continues to impress me. But Orange Cassidy did win the matchup, and then Speedball Mike Bailey comes out to check out Cassidy and confront him. And Orange Cassidy, it's going to be interesting. So Orange Cassidy and Speedball Mike Bailey advance in the Fatal 4-Way. I wouldn't be surprised if Ricochet advances this Saturday, because imagine that. Ricochet, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Orange Cassidy. Interesting situation. Remember, if Ricochet wins this Saturday, remember, the winner faces Kenny Omega at a Dynasty. That's all the time we have on this show. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. Tomorrow we got Pressure Luck, Rant and Rave, TNA. We're going to have a lot of fun there. So thank you for tuning in, and until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A big beefy E Do it for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with Arabian Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.